Welcome, everyone. My name is Shawn Jones, and I'm the CEO of the iNetrapreneur Network. And today I have with me a very incredible, interesting individual who is located in New Hampshire. He is the owner of Safety Net Solutions. I have with me today Jeffrey Hall. Jeff, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here.
I love interviewing new people. That's my whole thing, relationships, people, and getting to know individuals. And before we dive into the business side of what you offer, I always love, and along with our audience, they always like to get to know the person behind the business. So I have to ask, who is Jeffrey Hall?
Oh, wow. How much time do you have? No, and thank you for asking that question. And sometimes I struggle with that, and there's so much to it. But I I'm a veteran. I come born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, West Side projects, and I have to say that everything, my entire journey, every bit of where I've been, what I've done, what I've experienced, has led to where I am now and what I'm doing right now. I had no way of doing that along the journey, but when I look back and reflect, this is exactly where I have landed and why I've landed. So, grew up part of a broken family. Helped raise my little sister. We kind of raised ourselves and each other in a number of ways. There's some poverty and some challenges. I had a young family. I was young when I had a family, 18 years old. Before that, my first real job was in telemarketing. And I tell you, that brought out a side of me I didn't know existed. I flourished there. And my first month on the job, I was moved up to supervisor. Had my family. That job kind of waned out. It wasn't really sustainable. And by the time I was 20 years old, my daughter was two, and I just wanted something long term. So I joined the Navy. And the day that I joined, I knew I was going to stay for at least 20 years, which I did. So I stayed in the Navy 22 years as a corpsman, which is in the Army and the Air Force athletics. Navy corpsman. I served most of that time with the Marines, downrange and in the field. And that journey in the Navy took me all around healthcare, the entire gamut, clinical care, ward care, uh, combat medicine, shipboard medicine, telemedicine, medical regulating administration, and the whole range. And it was quite the journey. Learned a lot. Started my education there. Started working on the bachelor's in healthcare management while I was in. Didn't finish until I was done. My first job out of the Navy, I met my boss in an Irish pub. And that we were there on the rowdiest night of the week, and we just struck up a conversation, and two never went out for 2.5 hours. And that next part of my, and I was retiring from the Navy. I was on retired on my terminal leave. And he invited me to come and tour and find out, see if I liked, and believed in what they had to sell. And I was blown away. The next thing you know, I'm in telemedicine sales, and so I had the federal market, and I sold to the federal government, the VA. I got introduced telemedicine to the State Department, and it was just a ride. I finished my bachelor's at Northeastern in healthcare management while I was there, and then I went to the orientation at Northeastern for the master's program in health informatics, and it was everything I was already doing in telemedicine sales and project management and getting programs and projects implemented within the VA and other. And I was like, wow, this is it. So I went forward and got my master's in health informatics.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've had quite the, I mean, that your life so far, I mean, leading up to what you've just shared is incredible. And first and foremost, thank you for your service. 20
Thank you.
years. I mean, that's huge. My dad was a Navy man himself, and he worked out on the air flight carriers, and so he'd be gone, and I understand all of that. My husband served in the Marines. Once a Marine, always a Marine, but I think that probably holds true to every service person out there, whatever branch you're in. And so thank you very much for the sacrifices that you have made for the world to be better and where we're at today. So thank you.
Thank you. I do every second of it all over again.
It's beautiful. And so you come from a very service focused background. I mean, serving the country in the medical field and the variety of roles that you've served, and even going into the telemarketing side for the medical services, which are definitely needed. And now you have to kind of fast forward, you have your company, Safety Net Solutions. Share with us what your company offers.
Okay, so Safety Net Solutions is an IT software development and development ops company. Ross Miller, my friend, mentor, business partner, he founded the company in 1992, incorporated in 96. And since then, it's been primarily government contracts. And we've, as a company, we've done quite a bit of work for the FAA, both directly and indirectly. And we've implemented and managed some major projects that one of which currently saves the airline industry over $1 billion in fuel consumption every year. Yes. We've done projects for every branch of the military with the exception of the Marine Corps. Ross built technology that now enables us to print directly or onto a plastic ID card instead of the old school. Remember the photo laminated?
Oh, yes.
And wrote the code for it. We have over 20 patents under our belt as a company. We like to solve problems and build things, and there's not been a problem that we presented that we have not been able to solve so far. It's a small company, and believe it or not, I started with the company in 2016, and I'm the newest person.
Wow.
There's a dynamic here, and there's a culture that it's just love. And I fell in love with the company, the people, the culture, and the fact that we're just good at what we do, and we're dedicated to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought as a result, I bought the company last December.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And Ross is there as a mentor. So we've been like again primarily government focused, but I've spent so much time since I've retired from the Navy, and even while I was in the Navy, but especially since retiring in 2009, a lot of time around nonprofits, volunteering, being on boards. And now every Saturday, I spend a good chunk of my Saturday volunteering at a food bank, a local food bank. It's just rewarding. It's part of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So as a result, we're finding ways to help small nonprofits now, help them streamline, become more efficient, automate processes because they have small budgets, small staff, but a huge mission.
Mm-hmm.
And we make it better for you. And we can customize solutions for you, build one for you, or take one out the box and customize it for you, whatever works.
Mm-hmm.
And me with my healthcare background, running the full gamut and my education in health informatics and intimate knowledge of healthcare administration and management. And now we're looking to break into the healthcare space and really solve problems there.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on a current proposal right now that's going to be huge with mental health, behavioral health. And
Mental health is a big topic these days.
Yes.
It was big before, not always, I wouldn't say that it was always talked about. Mental health was still kind of kept in the dark. It was there. We knew that there was challenges, but it was still kind of taboo in a way to talk
It's
about
very
mental
much
health.
taboo, yes.
And now you even have school districts that are adopting like even the mindful minute in the morning before the schools start with all the students just to help with the mental health. And now it's no longer that taboo. So you've taken your company that you've purchased that was focused primarily on government contracts, and now you're broadening the services and what you're doing to help and to the nonprofit, to the mental health services. How incredible is this?
Yeah, and so the project we're working on right now, the proposal we presented includes artificial intelligence and machine learning, so that we can really make a much more measurable impact and along these lines, particularly in this arena, because it is, there is a tremendous need, and it's been so overlooked for so long, and we're looking to find ways to better reach, those in need, and to make sure they have the care that's gonna help them truly improve and live a better quality of life.
Wow. Will this technology be available for youth? Is it strictly for adults? Does it matter if is it designed for like veterans and through the VA, or is it going to be accessible to all institutions that work within the mental behavioral services?
Initially, there's going to be one target audience because we're building the program and refining it and defining it, and to make it scalable and tailorable. But this will absolutely scale to, it'll be relevant for multiple industries. The military, active duty, the military healthcare system, the VA healthcare system, um, state and local, institutions and systems that do the deal with behavioral health along those lines. So yes, it is scalable and multi-applicable.
That's incredible. So you have a really big project that you're working on. It's coming to life. What is next after this? I mean, once it goes live, do you have another project in the works, something that's, just rearing your passion?
Well, like I said, our company culture and our history has been one of, solving problems that haven't been solved yet. So, and making an impact and being responsible. So the next thing, bring us a challenge.
Bring
Bring,
us a challenge.
yeah.
I I love this. Jeff, with you open the door, my friend. So I have to ask if somebody would like to bring their challenge to Safety Net Solutions to have a conversation with you, how can they get in touch?
They can start by just visiting our website, www.safetynetsolutions.com.
Jeff, I want to thank you so much for, again, serving our country and helping so many in different areas across the world in different ways. And I appreciate and I admire your passion to serve communities as well. So thank you so much for being here today.
And thank you so much again for having me, Sean. And thank you for all that you do. And thank you for your service by being a family service member. Oh my gosh, well, that's no easy task.
No, it's not. For those of you who have just watched, I interviewed Jeffrey Hall. He is the owner of Safety Net Solutions. He is also a contributing author in the legacy book series, Art of Connection, 365 Days. The next book coming out where you can find Jeffrey Hall is 365 Days of Transformational Quotes.com.